Yeah, I'm going to get it started off here with number 8, the Popeyes Bahamas Bowl. Now, Jeff, do you know who is in the Bahamas
Come
Bowl
out
this year?
swinging. I have no clue.
It's UAB versus Ohio. That's not important. What's important is that if you were covering that event as a working press member, there would be an amazing amount of Popeyes everywhere. I covered the Outback Bowl one time, and they actually, you didn't even have to stand up from your seat. They brought us the bloomin' onion and the steak and the everything else they've got, shrimp, brought it right to me. So I said, I like
Every
this
bowl
Outback
I've
Bowl.
covered is a stupid, like, mortgage company.
You can't
or, like,
eat the
a
Liberty
bank.
Bowl or the Liberty
No.
Bell. You can't eat that.
No, and
You can't eat a lot of Popeyes.
You can't eat an insurance claim, but you can eat Outback and you can eat Popeyes. Now, do they play it? Do they somehow stay at the Atlantis Resort? That is a key question because you and I have experienced the Atlantis Resort, and my friends, it's exceptional. Also, Blazers versus Bobcats. How about that for a little matchup this year?
It does not say.
I'm guessing it doesn't say where they actually play this game. Is there just randomly like a football stadium or something? Thomas Robinson Stadium? Anyway. Okay, that's an interesting choice.
I would read a feature about how the football stadium in the Bahamas came to be built.
I think it's a soccer stadium. I think there actually is a story about this.
Okay,
I'm going to send you the link when the show is over. You're also number 7.
I'm number 7. I've got Bol. I actually got some news out of Bol. I've interviewed him a few times. I was not looking forward to having to interview him this past weekend. He was in Kentucky at Hoop Fest in Marshall County. It's a really random place for some of the greatest basketball players of all time. Derrick Rose has played there, Carmelo Anthony. It's a great tournament. I love small town high school basketball tournaments, but Bol did say there that when John Calipari and the committee for USA Basketball cut him from the U19 team, that Bol just got up and left. He did not ask why he got cut. He said that he just figured that it wouldn't change the decision, so he never got that information. He visited the University of Kentucky, and it never came up in conversation with Calipari. So at the time, we thought that Bol was destined to play at Kentucky. Yeah. That was the word on the recruiting streets.
On the streets.
He grew up a Kentucky fan, but after that, things sort of soured. Obviously, I think Kentucky backed off a little bit too, and Bol decided that he would be better off at Oregon. But it was one of the stranger things to happen in recruiting.
Everyone thought that he was not going to pick Kentucky because he got cut.
And then he did.
It doesn't sound like that was really
he said it was confusing, but that it didn't make him mad. I just thought it was kind of funny that he was like, I'm cool with it, I'm out. So.
Speaking of bench warmers, when I was in high school, I will not name any names, but they posted who made the team and who didn't on the like in the hallway.
That was a tough time
in
for
the locker room.
a young man.
Oh my God, for like teenagers,
Yeah,
brutal. And I'll
terrifying.
never forget this one kid who didn't make the team walked up there, and he was quite bullied at the time, and he walked out. He had no chance of making the team. He walks up, he looks at the list, his name's not on it. He doubles the list, checking it a couple times, and I'm just standing there like heartbroken for this guy. Like I knew that he was desperately looking for his name. And right as we're realizing that he's not on the team, this kid walks up who has literally no filter and is not a nice person and says, "Nice try, numb." I'm not going to say the second word.
That's such a high school story.
It was such a high school story. Brutal for this kid who immediately started crying. And to this day, I have felt really bad about him getting cut from the team.
See, on Facebook, you should message him. See how he's doing.
He probably has like his middle name as his last name now, so I won't be able to find him. You can't find anybody on Facebook these days. Okay, number 6. Thank you. I'm cannonballing into this list at number 6 with a delicious burrito bowl. You know what? You can tell where that carton's from, can't you? It's from the delicious stead I like to call Chipotle. And if you're friends, okay, if your friends or your family members or anyone you know, or heck, if you do this, if you call it Chipotle
no.
one more time,
you're off the team.
I would like you to drive to Cape Canaveral, Florida. I would like you to wear a saddle and get onto a rocket and shoot yourself into the solar system, because the L is not in front of the T, so please stop calling it Chipotle. That is not how you pronounce it. This is a public service announcement.
Also, if you like Moe's, get on that rocket too.
Nah, that's disgusting.
I'm not about Moe's.
No, gross. What's number 5?
Number 5, it's Bowling with Bill Murray and Kingpin. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to have to come up with a way to get Bill Murray on this list
Truly worth it.
each week. I think I can do it. Kingpin was great. It hit me at a time. I think I was 11 years old, so everything was funny, but those kinds of movies were especially funny for an 11-year-old kid. Bill Murray's the man. I think if I could ride in a car and interview somebody, if I got like 30 minutes in a car with somebody, I'm going with Bill Murray.
So you would do like comedians in a car getting coffee, and you would substitute Jerry Seinfeld with you.
Yeah.
And you would interview Bill Murray.
Hopefully, yeah. That's who I'd like to start with.
Half an hour is not a long enough,
I know.
man.
I feel like you would just finally get started and you have to stop.
I would think it would be pretty funny for him. I would think Chris Rock would be really funny.
Mm-hmm.
I personally would just like to be friends with George Clooney because he's so cool.
Yeah, and just hope that people saw you in the car together and associated you with them.
And like the number one thing would be you don't want someone to see him and be like, oh my God, who is that heathen next to him? You want it to be like, oh, there's George Clooney, and that other guy actually, because he's standing in the general vicinity of George Clooney, is also super cool and quite handsome.
You get a few points. You get a bump. It's a Clooney bump.
Yeah. It's like the post-convention poll bump that you get in politics, only with George Clooney being photoed with you. Anyway, number 4. We're going to keep it in the Bol family. A man who's much farther along in his basketball career than Bol, Manute Bol. And truly a unique basketball player. Truly, like, everybody always would make comments about how tall he was.
Mm-hmm.
George Murasan, get out of here. Manute Bol was like the guy when we were growing up. As like, that's the reference for a super tall guy.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Also, he spent every dime that he ever made professionally to help in Sudan.
Yeah. Legitimately like a wonderful human being.
He basically died with no money because
Yeah.
he spent everything he could to try to help where he came from.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
Yeah, it was a very good pick, and I'm glad we had Bol too, because Bol, one, is a heck of a basketball player, and two, you would hope that if he is lucky enough to continue his basketball career to the pros, maybe he will feel compelled to follow in his dad's footsteps. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I think unique is probably the best word for those two guys.
Yeah.
Bol, you should. Have you seen him play? He's 7'3".
I think I've seen him play one time.
It's fun.
He's very tall.
It's fun.
He's very tall. Okay, number 3. Back onto firmer territory here. Ice cream bowls.
I'm a Rocky Road guy. If I get one pick.
Ironically, that is how I would describe our double coverage, a Rocky Road.
Oh, I see.
Generally a Rocky Road. Moose tracks. No, I'm a cookie dough guy.
Yeah, that's
through and through. But if you happen to be at the Hilton Garden Inn at Wabash Landing in West Lafayette, Indiana, about 1 a.m. on Tuesday night, you would have thought that I was a Twix ice cream bar guy, because I had multiple Twix ice cream bars after that basketball game.
I will allow myself, like a Butterfinger Blizzard at the Dairy Queen. But I like the Rocky Road when it's subtle, like when that almond just sort of hits you, like maybe every other bite you get an almond. It's not, I understand.
It's not overwhelming.
Right.
I
get it. The turtle tracks, moose tracks, you throw in everything you can. You go to Cold Stone and you're just bombarded with awesomeness. And it's great.
Like it, love it.
Sometimes it's okay to just sort of let it creep across your palate.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Into that.
Yeah.
I would like ice cream now. I will tell you this. Aside from getting a cowboy burger at Applebee's in Tallahassee, my first year on this job,
that's where hell is.
My second lowest point of my life is a tie between every time I come back from a basketball game at like 3 in the morning and get some food from the little like shelf area next to the counter at a hotel. I mean, it is like the bottom of the barrel, like ramen noodles, frozen pizza, Twix bars. I mean, it is so pathetic to watch me put on a pair of basketball shorts and a crummy T-shirt and just sitting there eating it while I'm watching like HBO at 3 in the morning in Clemson, South Carolina or something.
There's a Venn diagram, and one circle is Tallahassee, and the other circle is Applebee's. And where they come together, that's where you don't want to be. I hope Applebee's isn't the sponsor of the show.
Applebee's, we would love it if you sponsored
Yeah.
us. I will eat a cowboy burger on air if you want to sponsor us.
I'll have an app.
Okay, fair enough. Stuffed potatoes.
Sure.
Why did I just call them stuffed potatoes? That's not what they're called.
They
Potato skins.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Stuffed potatoes?
move it on. I gotta tell you a funny story. About number
Okay. All right, number 2 on this list. The best haircut in movie history, bowl cut. Jim Carrey, easy choice, Dumb and Dumber. What do you got?
I got 2 confessions. One from
You had this haircut. Oh my God.
Well, no, I used to have a rat tail when I was in kindergarten, but I decided to get it cut off. And then from 1st grade to 5th grade, I had a shaved head, and it became something that my mother would do in our garage as I wore a trash bag over me. And the clippers would just rip out hair. It was a miserable 7 minutes every other week of my life. But in 4th grade, I decided I wanted a bowl cut, and my mother, or 5th grade, my mom tried to give me a bowl
Did
bowl
she
cut.
literally
She
put
did
a
not
bowl?
do that.
Okay.
And that was the last time my mom ever cut my hair. I went to school the next day with a bowl cut, and it was such a horrifying experience that I've, ever since then, I've had my hair professionally cut. Not that you can tell right now.
I was going to say, your hair actually looks pretty good today.
Oh, thank you.
You did jokingly reference a mad scientist earlier today.
Well, that's what you called me, right?
Yeah.
You said
You look like a mad
you
scientist.
said I looked like a crazy scientist.
I look like a dad who just got home from a really trying day at work with 4 children who I'm going to try to figure out how to pay for college.
You kind of look like a dad that forgot that your second kid had soccer practice today, and they're like the last person waiting on their ride.
I look like a dad who's got some Jefferson's Reserve at home and has a date with that at about 9 o'clock on a Monday evening.
All right, then we got one more of these to get through.
I wish I had some of these to eat
Yeah.
with my Jefferson's Reserve, although I don't know that that's quite the right pairing.
Number 1, bowl of Fruity Pebbles. Now listen, you may not have liked Fruity Pebbles. You may have liked them, and I'm not going to make a comment about that. But the marketing and the cereal aisle for a 7-year-old, it's got to be miserable for parents to take their kids down through there. Like Count Chocula,
Oh my God.
Fruity Pebbles.
It's bad for
Cookie
a
Crisp.
27-year-old who happens
I
to be
know.
engaged to a 31-year-old when they go shopping together.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine you could take any man down cereal aisle.
Golden Grams,
Yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
You'll-
Lucky Charms.
It's bad news.